I am Jamie Palmer, online business strategist and simplifier for entrepreneurs, course creators, and service providers. I am the creator of the program Business Ecosystem Builders, which works with entrepreneurs like you to simplify their online business by focusing on one signature program so that you can create more freedom in your life. In today's video, I am super excited to share with you 6 ninja tips for creating a highly converting lead magnet. I'm also going to share the 6 most common pitfalls that I see the vast majority of people make with their lead magnet. So I'm super excited to dive in. Stay tuned all the way to the end because I share a special tip at the end. Thank you so much for tuning in. And if you are an entrepreneur who wants to get online business and marketing tips into your inbox every single week, be sure to hit subscribe because we put out new videos each and every Tuesday. Creating a highly converting lead magnet is a challenge in today's online space. The whole goal of a lead magnet, or an opt-in as some people like to say, is to get someone to know, like, and trust you. And a lead magnet happens at the onset of a relationship. But oftentimes, lead magnets aren't necessarily consumed. They're too big or too complicated, or they don't meet the ideal client where they are. So today I am going to share with you my secrets from my lead magnet, which converts at a 60% opt-in rate. Yes, you heard that right, 60%. So stay tuned. The first ninja tip for creating a highly converting lead magnet is to keep it simple. Think checklist, swipe file, template, something that is super duper easy and actionable that is actually going to help the ideal client move from where they are to where they want to be. Ninja tip number 2, find a pain point, even if it's simple, and address that. One of the biggest things that I want your lead magnet to do is to actually help convert that person and help them get closer to their goal. Ninja tip number 3, meet them where they are. Now, I talk a lot about this in my Understanding Who Your Human video is that I posted a few weeks ago. So you can go back and check that out if you want to dig deeper on this topic. However, one of the biggest things that you want to do when it comes to creating a highly converting lead magnet is you want to solve the problem that the ideal client believes that they have. So sell them what they want and then give them what they need. I've heard that saying come up a lot in the online space. And it's very similar when it comes to a lead magnet. They might believe that their problem is X, but the true solution to that problem is Y. So when you are thinking about the subject and the title and the headline for your lead magnet, make sure it is something that is meeting that ideal client right where they are with the problem that they believe that they have. Ninja tip number 4. This one is super important, so don't skip this step. You want to make sure that it is consumable in one sitting. And one sitting can mean a lot of things to a lot of different people. My general rule of thumb is you want it to be no more than 45 minutes. So you want them to be able to download your freebie, whatever it is, and you want them to be able to consume it and take action all in 45 minutes. Yes, I realize this is a tall order and not an easy thing to do. However, the reason why I don't want you to break it up into multiple sittings is because oftentimes people will never go back to it. And that is a huge problem in terms of establishing trust and building a relationship with somebody. Because if they never go back to the content that you create, well then they're never going to build trust or relationship with you. So be sure to make it consumable in one sitting. Ninja tip number 5, have a nurture sequence in place. This is key to actually getting the conversion to happen. So a nurture sequence is a 4 to 7 to 10, even a 15 email sequence that goes out over the course of a period of time after somebody opts into your list. For most people, the traditional email nurture sequence is between 4 and 7 emails and goes out 1 a day for 7 days. Again, you can check out my video on nurture sequence. Here, I'll make sure I link it, but it's a really important step because this is what's gonna actually usher people to make sure they take action and don't forget about the freebie that they downloaded. This is the difference between establishing a relationship with somebody and getting them to take that action at the end of the nurture sequence. Whether that's book a call with you or sign up for your course, the nurture sequence is the key in actually making that conversion. Ninja tip number 6. This goes without saying for me because it's one of my core values, but I like to bring it up here because I often think that sometimes, especially newer entrepreneurs, can kind of get caught up in making a lead magnet or an opt-in, and they often lose sight about whether it's authentic to them. So my ninja tip number 6 is to make sure that the lead magnet that you're putting out there is authentic to you. It's in alignment with who you are as a human being and your brand, and it's something that you're proud of because this is your first interaction with somebody that's new on your email list. So you want to make sure you're making a really good first impression. So tell me in the comments about your lead magnet. What is your lead magnet? Be sure to share the link. So now that we've gotten through all of the 6 ninja tips about what to include in your lead magnet, we are now going to get into the 6 most common pitfalls when it comes to creating a lead magnet. Now, these are what I see so many entrepreneurs make the mistake of, and ultimately it costs them building relationships with people on their list. And the first ninja tip or the first pitfall that I see happen over and over again is people make their lead magnet way too long. They'll make a 2-hour masterclass, or they'll make a 40-page or 50-page ebook. And ultimately what happens is the person never consumes it. Well, the problem is if the person never consumes it, then it's hard for them to know what differentiates you, what makes you unique, why do they want to buy from you, and it totally kind of misses them out of the gate at the beginning of a relationship. So keep those lead magnets really short, really actionable. Do not overwhelm people. You want your lead magnet to be simple enough that someone can go through this in 15 or 20 minutes or 30 minutes and feel a sense of relief because you help them solve a problem that they are having. And that's ultimately the difference between a high converting lead magnet and one that doesn't convert well. Pitfall number 2, you don't take enough time to test your title, your headline, your subheadline, and the copy that you're using around getting new people on your lead magnet. Now, I know you might be thinking, well, James, duh, I have to test that copy, but you'd be surprised how many people don't actually split test their landing page for their lead magnet, or they don't try to run through multiple iterations of a title for the download or the freebie or whatever it might be. So I highly recommend doing some research and asking people and getting feedback from your ideal client, because ultimately you want them to be thinking, how did Jamie get in my brain? You don't want them to worry about, is this for me? You don't even want them thinking that. You want them thinking, how can I can't live without this. And ultimately, when you create a compelling and high converting lead magnet, that is the feeling that your ideal client or your human will experience when they see your lead magnet. So make sure you split test those titles, those headlines, those subtitles, and all of that stuff and that copy as you're beginning to market your lead magnet. Pitfall number 3, they don't meet their ideal client where they are. This is probably the biggest pitfall that the vast majority of people fall into, and it's they don't meet the client where they are. So let me give you an example. If I were somebody who specialized in fitness and helping people get 6-pack abs, and I created a freebie that was like 6-pack abs start in the kitchen, and my ideal client doesn't believe that 6-pack abs start in the kitchen. They believe that they have to do more planks or more sit-ups or more stuff like that, then my lead magnet or my freebie isn't meeting that person where they are with the problem that they believe that they have. So getting a really clear understanding around the problem that you solve for your human is really key in making sure you select the right freebie or opt-in, because those two things are ultimately so tied together and determine your long-term success. So get hyper clear around the problem that your ideal client has and how you solve that. And then develop a freebie around what that problem is that they believe that they have, and meet them right where they are. So after they experience your lead magnet, they can be like, yes, I can move forward. Pitfall number 4, trying to collect too much information. OMG, this drives me bananas when people have a freebie and there's like a million things of information that I have to fill out. I'm like, all I want to do is check out this video. Please just give it to me. And they're like, what's your birthday? And this and that and the other. And they ask all this information. When you are at the start of a relationship with a potential new email subscriber, do not try to collect too much information. Typically, what I would say is the very minimum is the name and the email. You can also potentially try and grab the phone number to do text message marketing, but I really wouldn't add too many more options other than that. Maybe one more to find out their interests, but that's where I would stop. So no more than 4 or 5 categories of information that you want to capture at the onset of the relationship. When you start to get into 7 or 8 or 9 or 10 people, you lose a lot of people. So be sure to make sure that the information that you're collecting is minimal. Pitfall number 5, making the information too complicated. Again, this goes back to pitfall number 1, but I'm going to reiterate it here in a different way. When you make the information too technical or too jargony or too expertise-y, which can sometimes happen with us people who, especially in my industry, people can just give too much information and people get overwhelmed. And when people get overwhelmed, then they don't take action and they'll go continue to look for another solution. So when you are in your freebie, be sure to use the language that your ideal client would use, and be sure to use the words and the cadence and the structure with how they talk about this problem that they believe that they have. So you don't want to use your technical jargon. You want to use the jargon and the language that your ideal client uses. Pitfall number 6, no nurture sequence in place. I talked about this in the positive side and the ninja tips, but I want to mention it here. I can't tell you how many clients have come to me and they're like, yep, I got my lead magnet. And I'm like, okay, so do you have your nurture sequence in place? And I would say nearly 80 to 90% of them don't have a nurture sequence in place. And the problem with that is that you're not going to establish that trust. You're not going to build that relationship. So take the time to get that nurture sequence in place. It is worth the effort. You do it once and it's something that you can tweak and hone for years and years to come. So be sure to get that in, because that sets the tone for the onset of the relationship. If you want help getting a highly converting lead magnet in your business, be sure to get on the wait list for my new program, The Foundation. This program is a 90-day intensive program that helps you set yourself up for success with an online business. This is for you if you are somebody who's brand spanking new to online business, or you are somebody who's a coach or a service provider who's primarily been doing work one-to-one and really want to start to leverage the online space to grow and scale your business. You can head on over to thefoundation.systems and get on the wait list. And of course, if you are enjoying this content, be sure to comment below, like it, subscribe, and be sure to tag a business bestie, because we love seeing all of the comments and shares that you guys have. It lets me know that you are enjoying this content. So thank you so much for tuning in, and I hope you have a fantastic day.